What if Mufasa had a will? What if Darth Vader had a trust? And what exactly did Harry Potter's parents leave behind? If you've ever wondered about the legacy lessons hiding inside your favorite movies, welcome to 82 Toothpicks. I'm Ethan. I'm joined by Thad and the Ambers. We believe every movie is an estate planning movie. You just have to know where to look. So grab your popcorn, settle in, and let's talk about the movie.
Welcome to the podcast, everybody. Happy May.
Happy May.
Yay.
I know these are posted about a week out, but
Yeah.
Can you believe it's already May?
I feel like it was February and we blinked and now it's basically summer.
It is.
That's insane.
Ethan and Amber, welcome back. We
Thanks.
missed you last week on the podcast.
I bet you didn't. You hung out with your spouses.
Our two
Yeah,
guests
that
were
was
fine.
great.
We're fine.
I liked them.
It seemed like Trista maybe didn't appreciate you putting her on the spot.
Trista's very thoughtful with her answers. So I think the quick come up with this on the spot,
Sure.
Yeah.
she's not a yes and person,
Uh-huh.
if that makes sense.
Understood.
Okay. I'm glad you guys get that.
Yeah.
But no, it was fun having them.
It was.
I'm glad the gang's back together.
Yeah, here we are.
The band.
So last
By the
week-
way,
yeah.
Trista,
Uh-huh.
since I know you're listening, I'm
I'm
offended you couldn't pick another favorite episode
Than the one she
than the
came
one
up with.
you picked. Like,
Yeah,
come
she's
on.
very
now.
self-centered.
It's okay.
I think that's
I will forgive you this time, but the next time we talk, you better have an answer for me.
That's fine.
Oh,
That's
wow.
fine. So this week we're talking about a movie. I was thinking about the rundown this morning of how I would present this. So I want you guys to tell me if you agree with this synopsis or not. Right? This film is about I'm not going to give the title. It's about an old man who lost his wife to a fairly unknown illness. Right? Who is confronted by somebody in the community who feels like it's their job to help them out. And by introducing themselves, they put their foot in the door to stop this man from closing it on them. Right?
We watched it again.
Anybody else see the similarities here?
Yes.
Yes. I was like, this is... I hadn't seen
It's
this
the same
movie in a
story.
while, and I was like, this is the same story as last week.
It's real similar.
Yeah.
It's not identical, but
No.
as we were
A lot
watching
of
it,
things are.
I mean, in Up, he inflates 10,000 balloons and
10,000. We talked about that too.
flies away.
2.5 million.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's ridiculous.
Brother.
Flies away to South America. It's
Uh-huh.
like America, but South. In the movie we watched for today,
Yeah.
the old man cannot complete his task
Yeah.
repeatedly.
Yeah.
So it's a little different, but
It was. Amber, tell us what we watched.
We watched A Man Called Otto.
We did. Had any of you seen this one before?
I actually went and saw it in the theater with a bunch of my girlfriends,
Really?
which is great when you're all sitting in the dark, sobbing next to each other.
When did this one come out?
Oh,
Let's say 14, 15,
I think it was more recent than
No.
Oh, really?
it's more
Yeah.
recent, Yeah.
that. I'll check it.
21, 22.
Yeah, it's
Something like that.
maybe 19.
I had avoided this movie because I was told it was
22.
beautifully heartbreaking.
Mm.
And I did not want to watch a movie that was beautifully heartbreaking, so I hadn't seen it until this week.
22.
There you go.
Beautifully heartbreaking. What a way to describe a film.
Yeah.
Kind of agree with it though, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
There's a lot of that going
Yeah,
on.
we were just talking about how you felt about this one
Uh-huh.
and feeling. Like, I'm not talking about rating. I'm talking about how
Sure.
you felt
Yeah.
about this movie.
Right.
It's it's some tough stuff.
Ethan, give us the rundown of the movie. What's it about?
Well, it's about estate planning.
There you
Elder
go.
law.
It's
All right,
it's
well
also
done.
primarily about elder law. So that's all I got.
Sure.
The movie opens. You meet this gentleman at a hardware store, and he is doing all of the stereotypical things that a gentleman who is stuck in his ways, who has never done anything different, a different way in his entire life. He's going through the hardware store, and you just in that little sequence, you learn many things about him.
Mm-hmm.
And then he gets home, and you learn something really tragic, and that's that everything he bought at the hardware store, he bought because he is trying to end his own life because he can't handle it without his wife around anymore. And the rest of the movie is sprinkled with circumstances where he is trying another method to end his own life, and he gets interrupted, and so it's very literally gallows humor. And he encounters people in his life who were friends or in his life before his wife passed away, and who now he like is very gruff towards and things like that. And he meets a new family, and Marisol is her name. She befriends him and wants to basically becomes a surrogate daughter, and that the movie is that story is how she becomes his person. And you find out at the end that he's got a congenital heart defect, and basically he's going to die from it. And yeah, that's the story.
That's the story.
And there's some really great moments, and there's some really, like you said, heartbreaking moments. But at the end, he is connected to his people again, and that's cool.
Yeah. It's a good rundown.
Yeah.
Amber, you said you sobbed this whole time.
I don't. Yeah, it was tough, man. Okay. It was worse than The Notebook, I think.
Really?
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah, for me, because it's so sad, and then all of a sudden it's like light again, and something a little silly happens, and then it brings you right back to tragedy, and it's like the roller coaster of like just pulling you in and out of those really high and really low emotions was really hard for me.
The entire human range of experience in a film. Yep.
So I was like laugh crying basically the whole movie. This was tough.
Do you like the story?
Do I? Yes.
Okay.
I do very much. I had only seen it once, and I was excited to watch it again. I think it's a great story of humans and relationships. I think we can all understand Otto. It's easy to be determined that life has hurt me and I'm not going to let anything in, kind of thing. And it's the story of people being so determined that they're not going to let him be alone. There's just some really, really beautiful things there. The question of it's better to have loved and lost than never loved at all. And there's a whole series of flashbacks in this movie where you get the story of him and his wife, and him falling in love with his wife, and then ultimately her own tragedy through that bus accident. But yeah, the story of love and loss and love again is just really beautiful, I think.
Sure. I think it asks a big question of what is a community, right? It's all these people who just like...
And whose family?
Yeah, exactly.
There's a big theme of whose family.
Before Tristan and I moved up here, we lived in a condo like complex that was a lot like that. Like, we didn't have a gate in front of our street, but it was essentially, we knew all the people in our row, right?
Oh,
and we knew the people we were close to and the people that we weren't close to, right? And there was this real sense of like, ooh, we don't need to know you, but you're our neighbor, right? Like, we put our trash can next to each other. And by like sharing walls, we also shared lives a little bit. So I kind of related to Otto's situation a little bit. This condominium lifestyle.
Yeah. You see the same 6 families every single day doing the exact same thing in their same routine.
Yeah.
Their same.
See, okay, Luke and I currently live in an apartment complex, and we have not had that experience.
Sure.
And we've lived in 2 separate apartment complexes,
Oh,
and
yeah.
we don't know anyone who lives near. So I feel like all these movie depictions of like, oh, we're all family, we all live on the same street is just not real.
Apartments are different.
Than a condo?
Yeah, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I would say so.
It is.
So we
Really? I feel like they're so similar.
You're by definition transient because you're renting.
Yeah.
Is that
so
why?
yeah, the people we lived next to, we all moved in at the same time, and we all lived there for years, right?
Oh.
Like this was not I'm going to sign a 12-month lease.
Gotcha.
The house we lived in, we actually had a UPS truck back into our our deck.
Oh,
And it shook our neighbor's house. And she came out and she was a cop. So she was all about, hey, it didn't hit my house. Our houses are connected. And these are my neighbors, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we kind of had this similar experience of.
Interesting.
Yeah, that's cool.
Do you guys know your neighbors pretty well? Amber, you know,
Some.
but
I don't know my neighbor.
Some.
Yeah. We have our neighborhood has a ice cream social every summer.
really,
Oh my gosh.
And so
It's actually quite lovely.
Yeah. But
Like
there are
your-
definitely the people who come and the people who never come, and we have no idea.
Sure.
There's the guy down the road that I only know because he collapsed in his front yard, and I had to call the ambulance one time.
He was mowing the lawn. It was too hot.
Oh
Passed
no.
do you guys eat
Yeah.
out of troughs?
We do not eat
No.
ice cream out of troughs.
What are
Or
you
gutters.
talking
Or
about?
gutters.
You've never done a gutter Sunday? You would remember if you had.
I don't understand what's happening.
I heard about this for the first time when I
We'll,
moved here.
we'll come back to it. We're just talking about the neighborhood. I'll tell you all about gutter Sundays in a minute.
Okay.
But
I'm
yes,
scared.
we have a few really close, really friendly neighbors, and we have the people who would prefer we not talk to them.
Yeah.
That's so interesting to me. I thought that was all fake for the movies.
Yeah, so like we have neighbors. The neighbors to the north from our house that's a rental. So they have an apartment in the basement, and so they rent the basement and the upstairs. You probably have a similar, I think, in the house you live in. Thing.
Yep.
So we got to know the couple that lived upstairs fairly well before they moved a couple of months ago, and I have only seen the basement renter to that point because I don't think they have anybody in there anymore. Backing his car out of the garage,
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
and only because his garage, the driveway backs up to our driveway
Yeah.
because we're on the alley. So his
Gotcha.
his driveway is
Yeah.
you can't not see him.
And on the other side, that neighbor has lived in his house so long. He teaches middle school at OCCS, so all three of our kids had him as a teacher. And he's been there so long that he knows our house better than we do. And at one point, when we locked ourselves out, he saw us trying to get in the house and was like, "Oh, I know how to open your front window." And he helped us break into our house because he had to break into our house for the previous owner, and they taught him the trick for opening our front window from the
See?
outside.
That window no longer exists, by the way.
No,
Just
that window has been replaced, so he couldn't do that anymore. But he's that kind of neighbor that comes over and is like, I can help break into your house.
he's also the neighbor who brings us produce. Did we talk about
Yeah,
that on the
yeah.
podcast before? Yeah, he
So
brings us all
many
kinds of
squash.
zucchini,
Yes.
zucchini
That's right.
coming out of our ears.
Squash.
Yeah.
Yes. They're the best kinds of neighbors.
The weirdest part of this movie to me is the main character is not the heroes, right?
Sure.
Usually in a movie, the main character is the hero, and you're cheering for the main character. And the whole time, I found myself like, this guy needs rescued by all of these other people in
By
this
everyone
neighborhood.
around
Yeah,
him, yeah.
right.
So this is interesting because I actually don't. Sometimes he's not the hero,
Okay.
but pretty
He saves a
consistently,
guy from getting hit by a train.
he ends up the hero in all the little stories that they tell through this movie, because that's what this movie is.
Mhm.
It's micro stories
Yeah.
throughout, and they chain together to show the development of Otto from start to finish, right? He starts out, he's buying 5 feet of rope, not 6. He doesn't want to pay for 6 feet of rope. He wants to pay by the foot. And he's buying what did he call it? A screw, like a screw
Outlet
hook.
An
wrench.
anchor screw.
Yeah, a screw hook or an eye hook or something that
Yeah.
goes into he puts in his ceiling, and it pulls out of the ceiling, and he's mad because you can't even buy a good eye hook anymore, or right, and you go from that to at the end, he actively takes steps to save
Mhm.
his estranged friend's
Mhm.
home from this real estate developer.
Mhm. I think he has a lot of heroic acts. Actually,
I think he is the hero. I think that's the story. I think he goes from tragically depressed to
Mhm.
he keep living, and he wants to. He builds relationship with these little girls across the street, and he becomes Abuelo Otto.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I love that.
Yeah.
That's so great. I think he absolutely is the hero.
Okay, that makes sense. I don't disagree.
I mean, yeah, he rescues the cat. He brings Marisol to the hospital when her husband breaks his leg.
Falls off the
He
roof.
gives that kid on the bike a place to crash.
Yep.
Yeah.
Teaches Marisol how to drive.
Fixes her dishwasher. Yeah.
The radiator.
Bleeds the radiator.
Yeah.
Saves the condo. Shovels his sidewalk.
You guys have a favorite character?
I think that was the hero. Favorite character? Oh boy.
There's so many characters in this movie
Yeah.
that are good.
A lot of them.
I think easily the favorite bit for me is Marisol. She is just.
She fits some stereotypes
She fits
in an endearing
Yeah.
way, right?
Mhm.
She's some of those endearing, strong, matriarchal Hispanic culture, right? That's a very common.
Yeah. She's a force to be reckoned with, but she uses that force that won't take no for an answer as a you don't get to say no to me loving you kind of a personality.
Yeah.
Like, she meets this grumpy old man who's yelling at them. I would not go talk to them again, and she is at his door with a Tupperware container of food within 20 minutes. Like,
Yeah.
they haven't even moved in long enough for her to cook anything,
Yeah.
and she is there on his front porch
Yep.
and stands there when he closes the door just long enough that he opens it again to say something else. Like, I'm not letting you get away from me. I am actively banging on your garage door because I know you're in there somewhere, and I'm right. She is
And
just.
so he has to turn off his car and open.
Yeah.
Oh,
So-
Otto.
She's just that stubborn refusal to.
Like,
I'm gonna be your friend and
Give
you
up
don't
on
get to
somebody.
Say no. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like her a lot.
Okay. Amber, how about you?
I really loved her too. She's awesome. I'm really torn between picking Marisol or Otto, actually.
Okay.
I really liked Otto's character development through the movie. I loved the flashbacks to him, his first, few times meeting Sonia and how their lives developed early in their marriage and everything.
Sure.
But he's so kind, and like those first few scenes where you meet him like rushing to get on another train so that he can give Sonia the book that she dropped, right? Like that's there's so much kindness there, and you see it in little snippets when he's older too. He's just trying to like shove it down deep inside.
Yeah,
Experience
he's
that
gruff,
anymore.
and he feels very negatively
Yeah.
about the world, but he really cares about people.
Yeah. So I think it was just fun to see his kindness like come out more and more throughout the movie, and then at the end, like he's in family pictures on the wall in Marisol's house, and I thought that was really sweet.
He repaints the cradle,
Oh,
brings it
yeah.
down. That was so
Oh.
sweet.
Ethan, how about you?
It's really hard not to pick Tom Hanks.
Sure.
But for the sake of just a different perspective, I actually really enjoyed, we'll call the Community a character.
Okay.
In the sense, like Anita
Mhm.
and Roger. I don't remember her husband's name.
Yeah.
His friend,
Yeah.
right? That
Yep.
he has a Ford and Otto has a Chevy.
Yeah.
And
Like
that
Toyota Celica.
and he's like, unbelievable.
Takes his bourbon
he just
back.
walks away with his bourbon, like, I'm out of here.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
Right. The
Jerry.
commune, yeah. Jimmy,
Jimmy.
I think it's Jimmy.
Yeah,
I think it's Jimmy.
The guy who's outside walking like a complete moron,
He's getting his steps in.
and his beats are up.
Yes.
Like, what a doofus. Right, but they all love Otto, and they are absolutely looking out for him, and they love him despite of his gruffness, and they love his little quirks, like checking the parking passes on everybody's mirror.
Yeah.
Oh, not on the mirror. Unbelievable. And he's checking the gates, and he's mad when the guy drives over the grass, because he's out there for his community, and they're absolutely out there for him.
Yeah.
I think the group of them together is such a cool found family story.
Actually made me think of Sesame Street a little bit,
Sure.
where Oscar is just, I mean, they call him Oscar the Grouch, and Oscar is everybody's friend, and they all like him, and nobody's like, stop being so cranky. But they're just for him, and he's just a cranky member of the community, and they're okay with that.
Yeah. So I do love Otto's character, and I, like you said, Amber, I love his character development. He starts out in such a dark, horrible, unpleasant place, and by the end, he's surrounded by joy and vitality, and like these kids love him to death, literally. But I think the community is I would say is my favorite character, if you want to pick one.
What about you, Thad?
Cool. I forget her name. I'm going to go with the wife.
Thad's going to pick the clown.
He stole his quarter.
That scene, by the way,
yeah.
he said, "I need a coin," and I was like, "This is going to go badly for the clown."
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, I forget her. I'm going with Otto's wife.
Sonia, Otto's wife.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Yep.
Yes. Sonia.
We only see her in flashbacks.
Yeah.
Right. But the way her character communicates, how she loves Otto, right, in spite of his quirks or his communication, right? How she interacts with her students, the people in her neighborhood, right? There is no bad side to her that we can tell. I mean, he only remembers her rosily.
Right, rose-colored.
Right. But at the same time, I mean, she was such an endearing. Like, you feel bad about her loss, even though her loss happens before the movie starts.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good pick. She kind of is the catalyst for the movie too.
Sure.
For him, she's the.
Well, they all know her.
Yeah, everybody knows her, but she's the driving force behind what he's doing, both when he's in despair and she's the reason he says, you know, at the end he says, Sonia wanted us to live. Yeah, and I think that memory, and literally because you see every time he makes an attempt, he flashes back, and you see those memories. And I'm not sure the memories necessarily lead him to stop what he's doing, because he's always interrupted by somebody else. But I think those memories are, like, his memory of her is so positive and so uplifting for him. I think that absolutely is a part of it.
Right.
Did anybody else pick up on the fact that the cat was supposed to be Sonia?
I did not pick up on that.
Yeah, it was definitely...
because the cat is there watching him whenever he's doing something that she wouldn't have wanted him to do.
And then when the cat finally gets in the house, the first place it goes is
his bed, her side. And then he wakes up with the cat's paw in his hand.
There's actually a lot of themes in this movie, a lot of pictures, a lot of things that
metaphorical.
I'm certain artistically, now I've only seen the movie twice, above and beyond him being a car mechanic, I bet there's something to the number of times you see the make or model of a vehicle and what kind of make or model it is when it drives on the screen, because it is every single vehicle. They show a shot of what kind of car it is. And
I didn't notice that.
I think if I knew more about car brands and their stereotypes, I maybe would have seen more into that.
Toaster on wheels you call a car.
Yeah.
He's definitely a car guy, and I wonder if that's channeling his car guy a little bit, but I think you're right. I think there's definitely a symbolism there.
I think there's something
there.
Well,
and because in the stories he tells when his friend buys the Toyota, like he says, yeah, it's a Toyota, and you know immediately.
Gotta change with the time.
And I was like, yep, later, guy.
Yeah.
Saved you from buying a Volkswagen.
Yeah. So I think it's, there's absolutely symbolism
there. But there's several things like that come through. Yeah. That's like,
well, the bad guys are always driving the people that he doesn't want to interact with. Porsche, Hyundai.
The bad guys.
Right? Bad guys, right?
Yeah.
The social media journalist. Like, he's like, what even is that?
Yeah.
She's driving a Hyundai.
Yeah.
That's funny.
And it's so, like you say that, and I didn't necessarily notice it,
But as you say it, I'm thinking, oh yeah, I know exactly which car every character drove.
Yeah.
Why? How did I
Yeah.
catch all of that?
Uh-huh.
How about scenes? Anybody have a favorite scene?
Oh, I do. It's one of the first, I'm going to say, really dark humor scenes. Because it's depressing and it just, like, I laughed out loud at this last night. But he goes to the hardware store and he's back in his house and he is standing on the table and he's about to put the rope around his neck and he watches Marisol's husband back his U-Haul trailer off of the road and into the porch. And it is frustrating enough to make him get down off the table and end what he is doing to go over there and help him park the U-Haul.
Do it right.
And there is, like, so much character explanation in just that one. Like, I have a plan, I have a mission. He's very methodical about his attempts to end his life. And at the same time, I just can't let you be that stupid right now. And it just, that made me laugh so hard last night. And I understand that it's so dark, but it was just, that one sticks out to me.
Amber?
I need to think more.
Okay. Ethan?
Come back to me.
My favorite scene is the clown scene.
Okay.
Best, and that's because I don't particularly like clowns, only slightly. I love that leading into that scene where he's reading to the girls, and it is absolutely adorable. And you never see that side of him. You don't expect it, and he's doing the sound effects and talking like an owl and talking like a bear, and it's so endearing. And then the clown comes in, and he's like, "Guy, I was reading to these," and the clown's like, "I was reading to the girl," and then he's going to do a magic trick, and he takes Otto's quarter, and he gives him back the wrong one, and you know exactly that that's going to happen as soon as he says, "I need a coin." And it doesn't matter because the whole scene just plays out exactly how you want it to. And then they get in the car after they leave the hospital, and he's laughing. Like he does. Marisol calls him out. She's like, "My dad used to smile like that." And he says, "I'm not smiling." And she goes, "Exactly." that whole sequence is so funny to me.
Yeah, I knew he was going to beat that clown.
He walked in, you were like, "Oh, that's bad."
That clown has no idea what's going on.
Oh,
I think watching Otto teach Marisol how to drive a stick was a good scene.
Oh, yeah, that was great.
The way he approached his teaching style is he never got visibly upset. He kept a cool tone, just said the right thing, told her exactly, clearly, kept her calm, encouraged her, right? Him deciding to teach her how to drive, a really hard thing to drive.
Especially for a first timer.
Exactly. But then how he approached the pickup truck driver was completely different.
Yeah.
It's like, you had to learn to drive too.
Yep.
So give her a break.
Yeah.
This like force to be reckoned with while protecting the pupil was such a unique side of him.
Protector, definitely.
Right.
Gives you different lenses. That particular scene gave you a different lens on him checking parking passes. And you'd think you'd be able to parallel park. Let me do this right for you so that you follow the rules, but I'm actually protecting you from the harm that comes from not doing this the right way.
Right.
Yeah.
For that to turn into, you get the truck because you're the only one I trust to drive it, was a great way to wrap that up.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I that little scene of Marisol taking the keys back from Tommy,
Whatever.
I don't remember.
I
think it was Tommy.
Husband.
Yeah, her doofus husband.
Poor man.
That made me laugh out loud. And she put her hand out for the keys. And
Amber?
I really like the one that you just brought up, that too, when he's teaching her to drive, and then they go get pastries, and he talks about how he and Sonia used to do that. I'm also gonna pick the first flashback scene you get where he meets Sonia for the first time. by
on the rail platform or
yeah,
in the
when
train.
she drops her book and he, like I said, he gets on the wrong train just to give it back to her, and he's like going car to car trying to find her, and he finally finds her and he just stares at her, and she's like, "Hello, can I help you?" I just thought the whole interaction was really fun.
Yeah,
Yeah,
nice.
that's cute.
It was nice to see how they started out, because without those flashback scenes, you don't fully understand why Otto is the way he is in the present.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, all of those flashback scenes were really well done. They're just
and they transitioned so beautifully into
Uh-huh.
like the present day scenes.
Yeah.
That
yeah, I
was so
found
cool.
myself like excited every time they started a flashback. Like,
Yeah.
oh, we're gonna get another piece of this
Yeah,
story.
just wove together so well.
Do we have a game?
We do have a game.
This is gonna be
Game.
We're
hard.
We're gonna see what you guys think of this one.
Okay.
So in this movie, we talked about Otto makes several attempts to end his life
Mhm.
and is interrupted, like loudly interrupted, like he almost can't. You would have to stop what you're doing and respond to whatever is happening. And so we're going to play a game about interrupting and getting interrupted.
Interrupting cow.
Sort of.
Moo.
And we're going to see how this goes, and you're going to have to roll with me because this is a little bit of a storytelling theater game. So here's what you're going to do. I have a topic for each of you, and you're going to start telling us a story about this topic.
Does it have to be a real story?
It doesn't have to be, no.
Okay.
If you would like to make up a story as you go, you sure can. But as you're talking, so say you're telling us about what you did last night, any one of us can throw out a word like penguin, and then you have to work a penguin into your story about what you did last night.
This
And
is
then
improv.
somebody can throw out another thing, and maybe Ethan will say broccoli, and then you have to tell us about how broccoli factors into your story from
I'm
last
so
night.
excited. This is right up my alley.
Whoa.
This is yes and that.
Sure is.
It is. So we're going to interrupt each other, and we're going to see how that goes. So I understand not all of us are improv people, so I'm going to give you what your story is going to be about.
Well,
To start?
that's great. That was the part I was stuck on.
So, Ethan, you're going to tell us about the last dinner that you cooked.
Ooh.
Thad, you are going to tell us about the worst thing that happened to you this week.
Where do I begin? Okay.
And understanding that we all work together, we can't include client names on this podcast.
Fair.
Amber, you're going to tell us about the last time you got together with friends.
Okay.
And I'm going to tell you about my most recent vacation.
Right.
Okay?
Ethan starts.
Sure.
Then start.
Sure.
You're going to tell us about the last dinner you cooked. And
I just
anytime
get
you
to
guys
say a
come
word.
up with a random word, you may interrupt him.
How long does this go?
Good
I'm going to
question.
let you go a little bit, and then we'll switch people.
Okay. All right. Here
We're not going to let it go forever.
we go. This is a good one.
Okay. Here we go.
All right. So I got this idea on because we were in Florida to see our son at college. He had a concert on Sunday. And we went to Florida to see him, and we wanted to cook for him and his friends on Saturday night after they finished a game playing session. And so we bought the stuff to make tater tot casserole, if you're familiar.
Toothpaste.
And we took the ingredients for tater tot casserole, and we turned it into hamburgers. So I made hamburgers that had a corn and carrot relish. Now, normally, that corn and carrot relish would have like cilantro and things in it, but I was afraid that it was going to taste like toothpaste. So I did not include the cilantro because I didn't want the minty flavor in there. So corn and carrot relish with garlic and a little bit of apple cider vinegar.
Squirrel.
And the burgers were like a third of a pound. And so decided we were going to grill the burgers. Well, we're in an Airbnb and we didn't have a grill because the Airbnb didn't have one. It didn't come with one. So we DoorDashed a grill. Okay. I got the crappiest grill of all time. This thing cost $15.
Flavor Flav.
It was so crappy that I had to sit outside while the coals lit because I was afraid that a squirrel was going to knock the grill over. So I'm sitting there around this grill waiting for it to light because we didn't have a chimney starter, so I had to light the charcoal. Decided we need some tunes. So I got my phone out and I said, "What do I feel like today?" And while the coals they were lit by now, while they got going, I decided, you know what, late 80s, early 90s. That's what I'm feeling. And the first song that came on was by Flavor Flav. It was the best. And so I sat outside, got the burgers going, and once I got the burgers on, I made a mushroom beef gravy sauce concoction.
Grandpa.
And I'm sorry, what?
Grandpa.
Okay. I was like, Grant? What? Mushroom gravy. And so when everybody came over, we built the burgers, and so they had tater tots on top, plus the corn and carrot relish, plus the mushroom gravy. We had potato chips to go alongside. We had some lovely conversations. We talked about where they were all from, Jason's friends. They had never heard of tater tot casserole before, and I told them this was my grandpa's favorite dish.
And scene.
Beautiful.
All right. Get the
I
idea?
don't have a worse thing that happened to me this week.
Okay, you want a different topic? You want to tell us about the best thing that happened this week?
Where do I even start?
It's a good story.
Amber, are you
I don't
ready?
even follow that up.
Why don't you tell us about something your kid did this week?
Rolled into the corner.
I was going to say, he doesn't do a whole lot. I don't like this game.
Do you want me to go?
Yes.
While you
Amber,
think?
you go.
Okay.
That's
My stories are so rehearsed. I can't just...
So tell a story you rehearsed.
No. Amber, you go.
No. Okay, so mine is last time together with friends.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So last time I was together with my friends, I was with my two friends. Their names are Denny and Bailey. Denny is not her real name, but that's a nickname we have for her. Denny and Bailey. We were in Sioux Falls, and we stayed 2 nights with Bailey and her family.
Accidental murder.
It was really fun because I went there Friday night, and on the way there I listened to a podcast about an accidental murder. And that was really just good driving background ambiance for me. It's really good. I drove very well because I didn't want to commit an accidental murder. So then I got there Friday night and right after work, and Denny and Bailey were already there. And
Post office.
We hung out. I started telling them some stories about, what I'm doing at work and how I walk to the post office every day. That was one of the things I brought up. And so we caught up and we chatted, and then we gave each other PowerPoint presentations about what's been going on in our lives for about the past year. So we did
I
that.
love that. That's editorial, but I love
that was very fun. And then we had some
Albatross.
Yes.
So we had our pizzas and we did our PowerPoints. And we went to bed that night, but I was awoken around 3 a.m. because an albatross was trying to break in through the window, and that was really loud and annoying for me.
I imagine it would have been.
Yeah, and in Sioux Falls, you don't see that a whole lot, so.
Or maybe ever.
So I didn't get a lot of sleep that first night, but then we woke up Saturday morning. We made breakfast together. We had French toast, and then we decided to go thrifting. We went thrifting because we had to buy some plates, and we were gonna break them with a hammer and then put the pieces back together like a mosaic. We saw that on Pinterest, I believe. So we went thrifting. We did that. We bought some clothes and some plates. And then we went back.
Brisket.
We went back to Bailey's family's house. And we started, breaking the plates with a hammer. And I decided to make my mosaic of a brisket because that's my favorite food. So I had to buy a lot of plates that represented those colors. Which was a little tough because everyone else was doing flowers and stuff. I thought that was boring.
Yeah.
So I made a brisket
nothing like
mosaic.
the gray-brown color of brisket to be interesting.
Yeah, my favorite. So we did that. We chatted some more, and
Tennis
then
shoes.
we had a reservation for a very fancy restaurant in Sioux Falls that evening. And unfortunately, all I brought was tennis shoes. And so we had to go back to the thrift store, and I had to thrift a pair of heels. They weren't very comfortable, and I almost fell over walking. But anyway, we went to the restaurant, and I had sushi, this is the only restaurant I get sushi at. It's Crave, actually, in Sioux Falls, which I enjoy a lot. And then we did that. We went back to the family's place, and we watched a movie. And we stayed up really late. And I went to sleep that night again.
bulb.
I went to sleep again that night. There's no albatross in the window, thankfully. But we woke up the next morning, and the power was out, which was really confusing because we were trying to get ready to go to church. And we found out that one of the light bulbs in the home had shattered, and it blew the whole electrical system. I don't know how that works, but it does. So then we went to church, had lunch, and then I finished up my brisket mosaic, got in the car, and had to drive back home.
See?
And it was fun. The end.
All right. Thad, are you ready, or do you want me to go?
Do you have one?
None of this has to be real.
No.
Hard to...
I did not make a brisket mosaic.
I know you didn't, but how do you make up a story?
I absolutely made up the entire story, except every single thing that I said was true.
So you didn't make it up.
You combine truth and lie, and that's something theatrical.
I had deliberately chose not to put cilantro in my corn carrot salsa so that it wouldn't taste like toothpaste.
It's actually a good one.
You want Amber to go?
Yeah.
Okay. So you got to hear a little bit about our most recent vacation already, but we went down to West Palm Beach by way of Orlando, because if we are close to Orlando, we probably end up there at some point because we are Disney adults.
Igloo.
I will claim that proudly. And we spent one night at Bay Lake Tower at the Contemporary, and one of my favorite parts about staying at the Contemporary was they had some very cute art, including one with the It's a Small World that had the igloo with the little penguins from the It's a Small World category.
Malaria.
And so we were there one night, and we got to see fireworks at 2 different locations, and thankfully everything was open because nobody had malaria, so they didn't have to close down the restaurant. And we were able to go eat at Topolino's Terrace, which is our favorite Italian restaurant, and watch the fireworks from the roof. Though the last time we were there watching fireworks from the roof, there were people that got engaged during the fireworks, and we got to watch that too, and it was very heartwarming and cute.
Flamethrower.
And so we first watched the fireworks there and ate some supper, and then we got to take the bus back to our hotel and saw another fireworks display and all kinds of pyrotechnics, but I don't think they used a flamethrower. But there was still a lot of fire going on, and so that's kind of fun to watch and really cool.
Ford F-150.
So then we went to bed that night. We could watch the Magic Kingdom fireworks right from our balcony. And so after we slept, the other thing that happened on this trip was that they lost our luggage and they sent our suitcase to the wrong airport. They switched our tag with somebody else. And so we had to get the airport to deliver it to our hotel before we left to go to a different hotel. And so this guy shows up driving a Ford F-150 with all these suitcases in the back that they had delivered to different places and or sent to the wrong place, and our suitcase was there. And so we did get our suitcase in time. And so we were very thankful because we didn't ever have to wear the same underwear 2 days in a row, which is more information than you wanted to know about us anyway. So
Strait of Hormuz.
Oh, that's so close to what I was going to say. It's so close.
So then we had to leave, and we took the train from Orlando. There's a really cool Brightline train that you can take from the Orlando airport that stops like 3 blocks from campus in West Palm Beach. And there's this guy behind us that's talking about all of this stuff and going through all of the news. And I really didn't want to hear about the news that much because I try not to listen to the news while I'm on vacation. But there's all this stuff going on with the straits and the... So he's talking about the Strait of Hormuz and everything that's going on with trade routes and everything around the world. And that was really lame and made our train ride a little less nice. But then we got to go spend a couple days in an Airbnb with our son.
Catastrophic.
And the most catastrophic thing that happened during our whole trip was that I could not get the lock to open to the... No, I got the lock to open and I couldn't get the lock back on to the laundry room portion of our Airbnb that was in this little shed. And
Insane.
I'm going to end my story there. It was kind of a long and rambly, or circular and rambly story.
All right, Thad.
I have to go.
You can do
Not
this.
the worst thing that happened to me this week.
Tell us the story.
Sure. So Monday night, we're kind of in that weird season in Iowa where the weather is kind of warm during the day and kind of cold at night. So Tristan and I had our heat on, but it got too hot in our house. So we opened the window in our bedroom, and just after we opened it, our cat Donut
Buffalo.
jumped out of the window and directly onto a buffalo that was standing outside of our door. And so I'm in my robe and I'm not wearing any shoes, and I go outside to try to convince Donut to get off the buffalo. And as I'm out there, our house collapses.
Sous
Right?
vide.
Everything was destroyed. As far as I can tell, there was absolutely nothing we could rescue from the collapsed house, including my sous vide machine. And while I'm standing on the rubble of this house, holding my cat, standing next to this buffalo, sous vide-less, I realized that I'm
Cornhole.
actually in a galactic televised game of cornhole, where people from all over the universe are going to be watching me, and I have to compete through these different levels
In your robe?
in my robe, shoeless, holding my cat, standing next to a buffalo. And every time I beat somebody at cornhole, I ascend to the next level of this universe. I gain followers and patrons, and they can send me boxes, right? And these boxes might help me somehow.
Waterfall.
But I found out that the last level of this game, it is actually, I have to play cornhole while I'm on a raft that's going down a waterfall. And if I don't get to 21 points, I fall off the waterfall and die. And that's really what gets most people. But that's the season finale. So, Terry.
You're doing so well.
You're killing it, man.
The problem, Tara, what are we doing? I can't.
All right.
I can't go on.
Got him.
Okay.
Tara.
You were on such a
I was
roll.
gonna say,
You were killing
Glad
it.
you
That
killed
was
it.
great.
That was perfect. All right. So there you go.
That was fun.
That was
Good
my game.
Amber. Good game.
So
Cool. Thanks for the game, Amber.
That was fun.
So
So who's ready for another 30 minutes of episode where we talk about estate planning in this movie?
There's not that
So-
much.
Uh-huh.
the majority of the films we review, we try to find the estate planning.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a scene in this movie where Otto is asking about somebody's power of attorney
Uh-huh.
by name, right? We're dealing with characters who are being
And literally
relocated.
reading his will out loud,
Re-
like the narration is just his will
Yeah.
being read
Yeah.
out.
Even the cardiologist at one point was like, she was named next of kin recently.
Yep.
It's how
Yeah.
like there's a 15-minute scene or spans in this movie where it just checks literally every box of what we deal with on a daily basis.
I mean,
To move out the guy to a nursing home.
Yeah.
to the assisted living because his
Because-
wife has Parkinson's and can't take care of him
And his
anymore.
son in Japan. had-
Allegedly,
yeah.
because the power of attorney who hasn't seen them in 10 years
Yeah.
authorized this company
Yeah.
to, man, it was like every estate planning and elder law theme that we encounter on a daily basis was in this movie.
In rapid fire.
Yes.
Yeah.
So good.
So I don't even know how we address it. It's
I think we did.
yeah.
I mean, talk
All right.
like just talk about the common things. Like, what are things that are in this movie that people deal with every day? Like, what's a normal thing that one of our clients would encounter? I'll start.
Yeah.
Thad just like his mouth just hanging open. The one that you mentioned was the hospital where the doctor comes in, the cardiologist comes in and says, Otto named you next of kin. And she goes, yes. And then the cardiologist says, so your uncle has a heart, has he told you about his heart condition? And she looks at him, she's like, no.
My uncle. Yeah.
Right. So that's one, right? People encounter medical decisions. That's a very normal thing, and it's one of the issues we help people deal with. It solves the problem of next of kin, right? Because you designate someone to make decisions for you in a medical power of attorney. It doesn't have to be family. It can be anybody you choose as long as it's the right person for you. So that's one.
So May is Elder Law Month. We rapid fired through a lot of estate planning things in this movie. What specifically elder law things did we see in this movie?
Anybody?
Well, the next door neighbor his wife has Parkinson's, and what does Roger or Russell, what does he have?
Dementia of some kind.
Yeah. So
but he's like almost non-responsive.
Yeah, so just dealing with people you love having those diseases and then deciding where they need to be living.
Caregiving.
Yeah,
caregiving was a big part of her story. Who needs to take care
of them? Yeah.
That's a great one. And I mean, some of the stuff we talked about with the developer bringing an assisted living out to take him from his house where his wife was taking care of him and move him to an assisted living. Because allegedly she can't take care of him anymore. Right. That's very elder law, guardian kind of situation. Anything else that you saw?
Well, I guess Sonia's cancer diagnosis.
Yeah.
And then we didn't really see where she wound up, like if she was in the hospital for a while or not, or if she stayed at home for a long time with Otto. But I mean, she passed, I think, 6 months before the movie started in the present, so that's all pretty recent too.
Yeah. Her accident and being paralyzed. That's not strictly elder law because she was fairly young, right? But elder law often kind of leaks over into disabled individuals and some of the same issues as far as caregiving and providing for care, paying for care. Those can be some of the same things that seniors deal with as they get into long-term care planning because of age. So likely there were some additional things there. And the movie doesn't really go into it, but the fact that Otto took care of her even after her accident when she was at least partly paralyzed.
Cool.
Yeah. There was a lot in this one.
Yeah. I mean, Otto's 67 when he dies. So he's a senior, but barely, according to at least most states where the age kind of changeover, you might say, is the age line is 65. Substitute decision making is a big theme in the story around the Anita and her husband and their home. There's some big questions there. Some interesting questions about HIPAA. How does the developer know all this information about these people's medical diagnoses, particularly when some of them haven't told a single living soul?
Yeah. Well, then the whole end of the movie turns into he knows his heart is bad, and so he's slowly and deliberately figuring out giving his car to the one guy and who's going to get my house and who's going to, right? He's got all these things that he's putting in place and figuring out well ahead of time, making a plan because he knows it's reaching the end.
Yeah, being methodical about it. Yeah, the bus crash, there's some estate planning themes there in terms of her being in the hospital and him sitting by her bedside while she's in a coma.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's chock full of them.
It is.
Sure is.
We could have talked about the estate planning themes for the whole episode.
He probably really dug into it if we wanted to. This is a great movie, though. Particularly uniquely uses the estate planning and elder law questions as part of the points of conflict. The hard things that happen in the movie, some of them are around that question of
I thought of another one.
decision making. Yeah, go ahead.
Otto takes on Malcolm, kind of as like a
Sure.
adopted kid.
Yeah, surrogate parent, kind of.
And as far as I know, Malcolm just stayed living with Otto until the end of the movie. So that's like a
Kind of seems like that. Almost,
guardianship
yeah,
kind of
almost a
thing.
caregiver
Yeah,
crossed with the guardianship question.
yeah.
Yeah, good stuff.
Cool.
This is a great Elder Law Month movie.
Mhm.
And I expected it to be, but it was even more than I thought it would.
Sure.
This is really good.
Cool. You ready to rate it?
I think so.
Everybody know how to rate it?
I'm ready.
You guys aren't too out of practice, right?
I think I remember how it works.
Amber, let's hear it.
I think this one could score pretty high for me.
Laugh, cry, think.
So I think I laughed more this time through than probably the first time I watched it, but I laughed a lot in this movie. I'm going to give it a 2 for laugh. It did physically make me cry, and there's like a lot of just tug on your heart things the whole way through. So I'm going to say 3 for cry. I'm going to give it a 2 for think. There's definitely things to think about in this movie and things that get your brain going, but it wasn't one that like I felt like I needed to keep talking about after the movie ended. And I would absolutely watch it again. I really enjoyed this movie.
It's an 8 from Amber. Amber, how about you?
Okay. This movie is beautiful, and I loved it very much. But I'm not going to rate it a 10 because I did not laugh that much because I was too busy crying. So my laugh gets a 1 because I did chuckle sometimes, but it wasn't enough to make me feel like I should rate it any higher. Cry is a 3. I've already established that. Think is a 3 because I was thinking while I was crying, and Luke and I talked about this movie a long time after it ended. So
I love that. That's the best thing. Is when you finish the movie and you just keep processing it. That's so good.
Yeah, and I would watch it again, but I need some time before I watch it again.
I'm gonna need a break.
I'm gonna need a break.
Awesome. It's another 8 from Amber.
Yeah.
Ethan.
Probably gets an 8 for me too. I want to say 3 laugh. I found the gallows humor in this movie to be absolutely hysterical. Loved it.
I don't
It was so funny. In the noose, after he's just hanging there in the dining room and he's just going about his business in his house, I laughed through that whole sequence at the beginning of the movie because it's just this noose hanging in his house. It was so funny. So funny. So 3 for laugh. It's going to get a 2 for cry for me. It did not make me cry, but there are multiple repeated hard moments. Right, the loss of their unborn child was tough. When he dies at the end is very, very touching. Really, just to see that through Marisol's eyes, really, really heartfelt stuff there. But I didn't physically cry, and so I'll give it a 2. Yeah, it's going to get a 2 for think from me, because a lot of it I saw coming, right? Like, oh, this is what's going to happen next. Oh, this is what's going to happen next. But that's not a bad thing in this movie. It just took some of the strain out of it. So 2 for think. And I would watch it again.
That's an 8. Nice. Cool. I'll go a 2 laugh. I feel like I'm right between. Did you go 2 laugh?
I did, yeah.
I got the dark humor stuff, but there wasn't a break from it. Like that's the only thing that was there.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, yeah. The kids really broke that tension.
The kids were sweet.
It was so sweet and so funny.
Right.
They're yelling at each other. Oh, man.
Cry too. Like Ethan said, I didn't physically cry, but there was enough heaviness in this movie. I think I'll go with 2. I don't know if I'm gonna question my life choices on this one, but I definitely think it dealt with really great themes. I don't know if I would want to watch it again, though. It was just heavy. Worthwhile, not entertaining to me, though. So, yeah, I'll go with a 6 on this one.
Sure.
It's good.
Yeah.
It's a good score.
So, had to buck the A trend for you guys.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Be the outlier.
It's just because we have better judgment than you.
So, yeah.
D is a frustration for that.
Cool. Next week, what do we got?
I believe next week is Nebraska.
Yep.
I know.
Just the state. I've never seen the movie.
I don't particularly care for the state, but whatever.
Yeah.
Sorry, friends from Nebraska. Move to Iowa. It's better.
We've been talking about it for a few weeks, and I don't know if it's just in my DNA, but when you said road trip across Nebraska, I thought east to west. And then when I saw the description of the movie that Amber sent, they leave from, Wyoming or something?
Yeah. It's
And they
west
go to
to
Lincoln.
east. Yeah.
And I was like,
What?
I don't even know if I'm going to be able to understand. You don't go west to east.
I thought I-80 was one way.
Yeah.
Through the, like,
Yes. It's such a weird feeling, but we'll see how the movie goes.
I'm excited. I have not seen this one. I don't know if anybody has. I hadn't heard of it until I found it when I was doing some research for Elder Law Month.
It's got some pretty good words.
It's going to be, I think it's going to be a fun one to watch.
Cool.
Thanks, everybody.
See you next week.
All right.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to 82 Toothpicks, a podcast from the Heisinger Law Firm. This episode featured your hosts, Ethan, Thad, and the Ambers breaking down today's movie and the estate planning lessons hiding inside it. If you enjoyed the show, check out my It's Not Too Late book series for practical insights on protecting your family and your legacy. You can also visit heisingerlaw.com for more resources and past episodes of the podcast. Be sure to follow the show wherever you get your podcasts so you never miss an episode. And if you're watching on YouTube, don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring the bell. And remember, every movie is an estate planning movie.